Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for another beauty related video. Today we are doing an update to my Operation Chopping Block Project pan. I'm going to talk to you about my feelings on the last two palettes that I brought in for this, letting you know if I'm going to keep them, if I think they're worth keeping around, and if you see them, if they're worth getting. I am then also going to go ahead and pull in two more palettes to face off against each other and me. Today I am drinking a Monster Zero Sugar. It's the Ultra Paradise one. This one's a little bit of a sour taste, not like crazy sour, but I don't know, I like it sometimes because it gets me a little bit more like immediately awake. Okay, so the purpose of this is that I picked 12 palettes at the beginning of this project that I just have not been using or have not used at all in my collection, and they have been in my collection for a decent amount of time, with the exception of one. And so they were palettes that I didn't want them to go into another end of year like palette declutter without me having thoughts on them. So I brought those in, and I'm picking two for 2-month blocks where I'm just trying them out, trying to use them as much as I can in those 2 months, trying to get some feelings and thoughts on them. And then if I choose to keep them and they stay in my collection, then I am further watching to see how much I'm actually using them. Because if I just go back to not using them, then they weren't ones that I need to keep in my collection. Okay, so the two palettes that I brought in for the last 2 months are palettes that I said that I had never used, and that if I didn't use them, I was going to immediately declutter them in this update. So let's find out if I have to do that or not. So the first of the two palettes I brought in is the I Heart Revolution Elf palette. This is their collaboration with the movie Elf, which is my favorite Christmas movie. I had mentioned to you guys that I never got around to using this because even though it's a Christmas palette, the color story is very spring leaning, and come springtime I kind of forget about it because it's a Christmas palette. So that's why I brought it in during the springtime months, so that I could hopefully get some use in it, use these colors during a time that I would naturally use these colors, and see what I thought. I have used this palette. In fact, I have used the top 3 rows. So I still have the bottom 2 rows that I have not touched, but I have used the top 3 rows. Most of the shades just once or twice, a couple of the shades a few extra times. So far, I don't think that the formula is anything out of this world, but I do like the colors. If you use it with a eyeshadow primer, I feel like the colors really do pay off well. They do get a little bit patchy, and that just takes a little bit of extra time and work to make it look a little bit better. But if you have that extra time, I do think that this ends up looking really pretty, at least the 3 rows of shades that I've tried so far. From the 3 rows of shades that I've tried so far, the teal right here is my favorite color so far. The shimmers, I actually like the mattes better than the shimmers so far, which is interesting to me because I'm normally the opposite way with every palette. So that kind of is a point against it, but I don't want to pass on this palette just yet because I do love the palette as far as the design goes. I think that the color story matches with the movie very, very well. I just don't think I need to be considering this a Christmas palette though, because I do not see myself really ever picking this up during that time of year. So I'm going to keep this in my collection for a little bit longer, even though it's technically not going to be a focus in this project anymore. I still want to try to use all of the shades throughout the rest of this year, and that way when it comes time to declutter my palettes, I will have a better understanding as to whether or not I should keep this one. But I do really like the color story, and it is my favorite Christmas movie, so it might just stick around because of that. The other palette that I said I needed to use or it was going to be decluttered immediately. It's from Glamlight, and it is the Hershey's Cookies and Cream 12 pan palette. They had another eyeshadow palette. I think it was like in the shape of a Hershey Kisses, but this is the Cookies and Cream one. And I have used this a couple times. I have only used the mattes, so I haven't had a chance to play around with the shimmers yet. And so far, I am enjoying it. It is a lot deeper in color than I thought it was going to be. Even looking at the shades in the palette, I have to be careful because one of the shades is broken. So one of these shades is broken, so I have to be careful how I show it to you. But I was kind of expecting this blue to be a little bit lighter. And then this gray, I was expecting to be more of a bluish gray, not like a deeper gray. And they are all definitely much deeper colors. Oh, I just dropped. That is everywhere. So I really am enjoying the matte formula. It's really pretty, but it is a lot deeper than I thought it was gonna be. So it was kind of harder for me to use it during this time of year. But I did fulfill my necessary requirement of opening the packaging and using it at least once, so I don't have to get rid of this. And because I am enjoying the formula of the mattes and I haven't had a chance to use the shimmers yet, I'm going to keep this one in, and we'll see how much more use it gets now that it's not a focus product. Now I need to bring in two palettes that I will be focusing on using through, what month are we in? We're in May. So for the rest of May and June. So then the next update I believe will be in July. So what two palettes am I going to bring in? I'm going to bring in one that many of you have told me to just keep trying. Many of you have said that it is a favorite formula of yours. It is one that you love. I just needed to give it some more chances. And I have been giving it some more chances. And so this is going to be this palette's last chance to impress me. So this is from Beauty Creations, and this I believe is the first ever Beauty Creations palette I've ever tried. This is their collaboration with The Corpse Bride, and it's the Why So Blue Multi-Use Palette. The packaging is amazing. I love this type of packaging that shifts. Love it. The color story I feel like is amazing. It's really well thought out. It's really well done. For the price point, I think it's really good. You get 3 highlighters and then you have 9 shades. I believe most of the shades are considered eyeshadows, and I think there's only like 3 that are, yeah, I think 3 are considered pressed pigment and the others are considered eyeshadows. I really like the design of this palette, and I really like that there's a mirror that's a good size. I like the color story. I think that this is a very well thought out palette. This being the very first palette that I've ever tried from them, I was not expecting these formulas. So my thoughts going into this are that this is probably not going to make it through this round. And here's why. The mattes, while the colors go on the eyes really nicely, what you see in the pan is pretty much what you get on the eyes. The formula feels like that like 90s kids makeup eyeshadow formula, like that like plasticky feeling. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, you know, like the little makeup sets you used to be able to buy for your children at like the dollar store way back when. It has like that formula texture for the mattes. Of course, they do work a lot better, and they do actually give the pigment that they show here, so that's good. So it is better than that formula, but every time I go to use it, that's all I think about, and it kind of gives me the ick. I know, it's probably just me. According to all of you, it is just me. The shimmers, or the pressed pigments, I really, really love. The color payout, the formula is pretty decent, and if I could just take those out, which I know I technically can. Once I do that, I will never use them. But if I could just have just those, I would love this. Now this blue shimmery down here, I love this color on my eyes. This color is beautiful. This formula does not work for my skin. It falls. It just like drips just over the course of the day, not even a whole day, like over the course of 5 minutes. It starts to move down my eyelid. Doesn't matter if I use no primer, if I use a foundation as a primer, a concealer as a primer. I've tried it with with my normal eyeshadow primer and glitter glue. It doesn't matter if I try to set it. It does not matter what I have done. That shade does not stay on my eyelids at all. I've never had that happen before, to the extent that this one does. So that shade, while it is beautiful, causes me so many issues. The highlighters are beautiful. The highlighters I have no issues with. The highlighters are a great formula. They show up well without being like super, super bright, but if you want to build them, they build well. They don't show texture like a lot of powder highlighters tend to do. Like, they are just beautiful. I have no issue with the highlighters whatsoever. So these mattes and those shimmers, with the exception of that blue, are gonna have to really show me in these next 2 months that I need to keep this palette. Because if they don't, this palette will go away. And right now I'm leaning heavily towards this palette going away. Okay, the next palette I'm gonna bring in is from Profusion. Now, I placed an order with them, I wanna say it was like around Thanksgiving, and I have yet to use any of the palettes that I got. But I specifically brought this one in because I'm not entirely sure why I got it. So this was part of the Beam It Up kit, which has a neon liner and a 6 shade palette. So it's the palette that's brought into this. And I think the reason why I got it might have been to get me to the free shipping thing. I don't know. They were having a great sale, and this set was like $2 or $3. This is a triangle palette, which is cute. It's whatever. I hate palettes that don't aren't squares or rectangles. I just can't stand it. So I don't know why I got this. It is cute design on here, but it's just a basic cardboard packaging. And then you open it with it going down, and this is gonna be the color story. I'm gonna take the plastic off so we can hopefully see that a little bit better. Okay, so we have 6 shades here. And from what I can see on the packaging, it looks like all of these are actually considered pressed pigments because it just says pressed pigment ingredients. So that's interesting. Okay. So the 6 shades, we have this green right here, which I think will be really fun to play with. Then I've got this blue, which doesn't look like anything super special, but it goes with the color story. This lighter blue here, I think, is one that I do have in my collection already, but I think that it's really pretty, and I think that it goes really well with this color story. This like purpley pink over here is not one that I foresee using very often, but it's a pretty color. This orange though, this orange I am excited for. I think that that orange will go beautifully with either of the blues and that green. Absolutely beautiful. I do think that this darker blue, yeah, it has a little bit of a shimmer to it, but it's not like a lot. And then this silver here, this is what I'm the most excited about. It is a sparkly silvery, I wouldn't go as far as saying it's a glitter, but it is definitely a beautiful silver looking with a bit of a shimmer to it. So I think that that orange is going to go the best with everything here on my eyes, And then I think that that shimmery color is going to be beautiful on everything. So I do think that this color story is great. I just don't like the packaging shape. Is that a silly reason? I don't know. And I'm kind of concerned that they're all pressed pigments. That doesn't always mean that you're gonna have like a reaction, but it typically, like, you have a bigger chance. And not for everybody, just I have a bigger chance. I have pretty sensitive skin, so I don't know why I got a palette that is all pressed pigments, because I don't avoid them. I try them, but I don't typically use all of it on my skin. We'll see. Both of these palettes, this one here, if I don't use it at all, it will be automatically decluttered because it had never been used before. This one here, I have used several times before. So the rule for this one is going to be that if I don't find at least one look that I can make quick, that I enjoy, that I feel like is going to be a go-to look for me, it's gonna have to go, because really I think that's the only thing that's gonna save this palette. So these are the two palettes that are going to be my focus palettes for the next 2 months for this project. If you enjoy project panning, if you enjoy talking about the makeup you already own or even new makeup, I hope you will hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content and this particular video. If you do happen to have some more time on your hands and want to check out the videos that are popping up on the screen right now, I would truly appreciate that. But if you don't, that's okay. I will see you soon in a video, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.